So welcome to BFREE Monday call. So tonight is the first week of the 6 weeks of business basics. So I just thought it was in a good time to, because we do this every now and then, is to just go through the 6 skills, just go back to the basics, go back to the beginning. And I feel like we've got a lot of new people that have started in the last 4 to 8 weeks. And I think just it's very easy to complicate this business. Very, very easy. And so bringing it back to the basics and making sure those are working, I think is really important. For myself, that's probably the main reason I wanted to do it, to be honest, because I thought I could do with a refresher. And then for everybody else that we're bringing in as well. So the first skill that we're going to touch on tonight, so we're just going to go 1 skill per week. The first skill that we're going to touch on tonight is finding people to talk to. So very, very important in the business of network marketing. And what I love about this is one of the skills where you can really bring your own flair to it in terms of the way you go about it. This is where if you've got an entrepreneurial streak or a creative streak, you can really bring your own flair to this aspect of the business. Once somebody comes into the business and network marketing, it's all about the system, making sure things are duplicable and it's step by step, and you don't want to be reinventing the wheel there. But on the front end, when we're finding people to talk to, finding creative ways to do that and doing it in a way that feels good for you, that's a space where you can really bring yourself to it. And that's why I love this aspect and talking about this part of the business. So the first point, and I'm going to talk, I guess, just some principles and some practicalities. So the first practicality I want to talk about is actually writing your list. So this sounds real simple, but who here, like a lot of videos are off. If you can have your videos on, guys, do that just so it's a little bit more interactive. But who, show of hands, actually has their list written down and is relatively up to date and they can work off it? 1, 2, 3. Yeah, solid. My camera isn't working. That's all right. No worries, Morgana. Just comment then, the guys that don't have their camera on. If you do have your list. Yeah, Rosa's got his list. And then now just comment in the chat box now. Do you use pen and paper or do you have it online? Because with this, there's pen and paper online, Trello, both. Nice. Excel spreadsheet and notebook, both online. Cool. So the point with this is the system that works is the system that you use. So like you can hunt up and down, like what's the best, like this, or like this system or this way of writing your list. And it's like, sure, some might work better than others, but really the one that you're going to use and check in with the most often, that's the best system for you. And I have, like Ellie and Rory, guys who have been Lock even, like how many different ways have you tried to do it, or like different lists have you written up over the years? It's like, it's something, trying to get it perfect, and like you just don't, just get it going, get it happening, get names, start with a pen and paper, just get it down into the habit of recording and listing people's names, because it's going to evolve and you're going to chop and change. I can tell you that right now. But having, what I find does work, and a lot of people, it was either online or a combo of both. Again, whatever works for you. So I'm not going to be prescriptive with this, but have a way of doing it, and have a way that you can record like your bigger list, or like what I call your master list or your 500 list. And that's where I find the combo can be good, because how I like have worked best is often that master list. So that list of everybody is sort of in an online spreadsheet. And then I've got pen and paper for my working list. So for people I'm actually speaking to and following up with, because then it's pen paper in my diary and I'm working off it. But I've just started using Trello, which if you are doing it online, I find it way more accessible than Excel. But each to their own. But the point of this is making sure, and when we're getting people started, making sure they're actually writing down their list, because it was something that I didn't coach some of my newbies, I guess, thoroughly enough at the beginning. I sort of might have said it, but it's stressing the importance of doing it, because if you don't have a list, you don't have a business. And if you don't have a list and you start speaking to a lot of people, Jamie, let me know if you can relate. If you start speaking to a lot of people and you don't have a list, you're going to get Callum, you're going to get overwhelmed real quick. And when you get overwhelmed, guess what? You stop taking action in your business. So having a list is really, really important. So finding people to talk to, especially when you get started, the beauty of network marketing and the beauty of Isogenics and having a system of products that pretty much anybody can benefit from is when you get started, you've already got a lot of people to talk to, your warm market, so to speak. So I just want to speak into warm versus cold market, and getting pen to paper around, like Eric Warre coaches, everybody you know goes on that list. Whether or not you speak to them about it at all or straight away is another story, but it's actually emptying your head of everybody you know. So that a good way to do that when you're just first starting out is making what they call like an easy customer list. So that's like mum, dad, brother, sister, best friend, just people that you can, you know well enough that you can just go to them straight up, comfortably and say, and check it out. Like that's you kind of like your easy customer list. But then another really good one is they call it your wedding list. So either if you've had a wedding, who was at it, pretty simple because you've already got the list written down. And if you haven't, like if you were to get married right now, who would be on that list? And that's just a simple way of being like, who's close friends and family that you know well enough to invite to your wedding. That is because people will buy from people that they know, like, and trust. And the stats support it in terms of like all the research being done around marketing. So this is just a way of getting a gauge on who in your life already know, likes, and trust you. So before we go random messaging people, strangers on Instagram, it's like we've got people in our life that know, like, and trust us that could benefit from the solutions we have to offer. Often it can be a bit scarier to message the people, the friends and family. It can be a little bit more uncomfortable than messaging a stranger, but it's important to get those names down because there's energy in that as well. Like getting more to like the woo-woo side of things. It's like I literally pour love into people on my list, especially people on my dream team list. I might not be having a direct conversation with them, but it keeps them in your field. It keeps them in your thoughts. So day to day, so you might not be speaking to them about Isogenics, but you're probably going to reach out and connect with them more often if they're on your list and they're in your field and your thought patterns. So that's kind of like your warm market is anybody you know. And then your cold market is people that you don't really know that well. So that can be like your social media people, and I guess strangers that you meet. And the only difference between a warm and a cold market person, in my experience, is one conversation. Like who here has had a conversation with a stranger and after like 5 minutes is like, whoa, I feel really connected to you. I feel like I know you really well. It's like, has anybody had that experience? Yeah. So it's like, I just like to point out like that the difference between warm and cold market can change very quickly. And if you get good at having authentic conversations with people, then you can transition people from your cold market to your warm market very, very easily. So again, writing down that list, your social media list, Facebook friends, phone. So it's like we've got access to all these tools now where it's really easy. It's almost like if it was back in the day and we just had our Rolodex, we probably would have a bigger list than we do. But because we've got access to social media, 500 people there, Instagram, it's a lot. So we kind of just pull back from it all, but taking time to actually go through it, because before we go and find people to talk to, it's realizing the abundance of people we already have to talk to is really an important step that can get missed. And it's like, it's so funny the amount of times I'll be working with somebody and they'll get 3 months in and they're like, oh my God, Uncle Max, like, how did I not think of Uncle Max when I started this? And they've been in it for 3 months because I didn't go through and write out their wedding list and take the time to do that at the beginning. So just really taking the time to do that. So moving on to actually finding new people to talk to, I just wanted to comment in the chat box, like, where can you find new people to talk to? I want to hear from you guys. Or where have you found new people to talk to? Let's get actually practical. Where are results happening? Where do you guys currently find new people to talk to. My biggest thing is events, running events and workshops. Fave Cafe, gym, nice, Gemma. Instagram, Women's Circles clients, awesome, Ellie. Facebook and friends coming over, nice, Morgana, love it. So there are people everywhere. And the thing, shopping, good, clients page, nice, shopping. With this, as long as we're finding people to connect with in authentic places that we were going to be anyway. If I hate swing dancing and I'm like, I'm going to start swing dancing twice a week because there's going to be people at swing dancing classes and I can connect to them to talk to them about Isagenix, it's like, that's not going to work because you're not going to build authentic connection. So as long as you're doing things that you enjoy doing so you can build authentic connection, and then it's just putting people on your list. Are you going to speak to them about Isagenix straight away? Not necessarily, probably not. But it's meeting people and putting them on your list. And because if you're not doing that consistently, and who can relate to this is you decide to go hard with your business and contact a lot of people. You might contact 5 new people a day and you do that for 5 days or maybe a week or 2. And then you get to the end of it and you're like, I've run out of people to talk to. I've got no more new people to talk to. It's like, oh shit, I was going to do this 90-day sprint and then I've run out of people within 2 weeks. Because if we're not consistently adding people and consistently meeting new people, but then adding them to our list, because that's a step that I can forget, meeting all these new people, but I'm not necessarily adding them to my list every day, then it gets missed and it doesn't build. And I know, I just see Ellie nodding, you can probably relate. You go through a phase where you're like, and then you have to go back and trawl over the last 6 months of events you went to and places you traveled and da-da-da. And it's this painful process of building your list again. Whereas realistically, if you set up a system where, and Eric Warre calls it adding 2 new people every day. So every single day, 2 new people go on your list that you might have met, you might have liked their stuff on social media, but it's connecting with somebody is one thing, but building the habit and the muscle of them transferring them to your list is another thing. So that when it comes time to making those new connections, you've got stuff going there. Does that all land for people? Getting that switch over. And now I'm going to talk about social media. I might get Callum to talk about this a little bit because social media is a good one because it's like, whoa, we've got access to a lot of people. But I've been through phases where I've utilized social media a lot and wasn't doing as much in-person connecting with people and finding new people because logically it's like, I've got access to thousands of people on social media. Why don't I just do that? And it burnt me out. But it is still a very powerful way to create attraction-based marketing in terms of having people come to you. So, Cal, I know I haven't prepared you or told you about this, but I'm going to unmute you and just have a bit of a chat because I know you've had some success with this in terms of connected and built conversations and actually enrolled some epic people through social media. And you've also had times where you're like, your relationship with building through social media, you're like, whoa, I don't know, that way of doing it isn't for me anymore. Like, and you've kind of seen like how amazing it can be in terms of attracting people and then the other side. So do you want to just speak into that a little bit?
Sure. So social is an incredible tool. And I thought I discovered the kind of the secret. I was like, I'll check this out. I don't even have to talk to people. It's got this amazing platform. And it's been great to make connections, but I've had a lot of conversations and I've been similar to you. I've actually burnt myself out a little bit because I was just making so many new connections, managing so many conversations at once, managing people in different time zones, to then get on the phone with them and them just not really know you other than a couple of photos and a quick couple of chats. So you're doing almost so much more additional work in order to kind of get to the same outcome as you speaking to someone you already know. And then I think, when then speaking into, connecting with people that you already know, it's like you have the chance to physically sit with someone and have a coffee and have a chat and meet them, and it creates that in-person real experience. So for me, I'm very much a people person, and social media was kind of lacking that. And yeah, I'm just kind of looking at, all right, well, how do I actually want to build my business? And I was like, I actually want to build it as a community of tribe people with whom I can connect with, that I can go catch up with in person. So that's kind of one part of it. And then, yeah, the other part is like using social media for more attraction-based stuff. And that's where I've had my success with social media. It's been less about me reaching out to people, which I've done a lot of, and it's actually been people coming to me, whether I've done a story or a post specifically, with a call to action. That's where I've had success. So yeah.
Beautiful. Yeah, love it. Awesome, man. Thanks for the distinction. And I like that. Yeah. And it is an extremely powerful, I'll just check you back on mute. Thanks, bro. Powerful tool. And I think really what works well with social media, and they're starting to talk about this a bit more, is they're calling it like attraction-based marketing. And that requires, so if you're using social media as a tool to find new people to talk to, really committing to the long game with it and using attraction-based marketing. So showing up consistently and authentically. And if you haven't watched Kat's social media training, go back and do that. The link's in the BFREE page. We'll post it again if you need it, but showing up consistently, you can, because then it's, rather than you going to find people to talk to, it's creating a space where people are finding you to talk to. Like that feels good, doesn't it? People just coming to you to have the conversation. It's like, and that's totally possible. And it can either be directly for Osteogenics, if that's part of your branding. But if you love cats and you talk about cats a lot on social media and you're connecting with those people that are also cat lovers, you're still building authentic connections, and your Venn diagrams are overlapping, and it's still a way to put people onto your list. So then when you do a spring, whatever, like a spring cleanse or a new year thing, you've been building this relationship with people, and it doesn't matter if it's about cats or knitting or mountain biking or whatever, because the point is that there's now trust there. So if you're using social media as a platform for attraction-based marketing, it's making sure you're showing up consistently and authentically. And I wouldn't be, just be wary of burnout if you're going out and messaging lots of people. Like for some people that works really well because it aligns with them, but if it doesn't, then don't. So yeah, that's that on social media. Cal, did you want to jump in there? Yeah.
So attraction-based stuff. So I've actually taken a step back from socials and not hitting it so hard because it was super overwhelming. And I literally just changed the my bio in Instagram now, and I've just written, want to make an impact, ? DM me. And I've already had one guy who's been following me, engaging my stuff, now asking me, hey bro, what's that impact thing about?
Nice.
So now I've got someone who's following my journey, attracted because I'm consistently showing up, and now him and I can have a conversation about, hey, how to have an impact, rather than me connecting with some random person in Philadelphia where it's 5 a.m. right now, and I'm trying to talk to them about this.
Those Americans.
Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks, dude. So definitely a powerful tool to utilize, but like a really big trainer in the industry, what's his name? Jeff. I forgot his name. He trains heaps of the millionaires over in America. But anyway, he's like, you want to make sure any business should have at least 5 lead sources. And Instagram or social media would count as one lead source. So, and a lead source is, and this is where, if you're treating this like a business, early days, this might not be a bit much, but working up to the point where you have leads consistently coming in, and that might be through some sort of paid, Jeff Campbell. Is that him? Yeah, maybe. Leads coming into your business. You want 5 lead sources, because if there's too much pressure on one, it'll burn out. So, and we heard from some guys before about where we find people to talk to. But what I'd love to hear, I'll hear from a couple of the people who have been around for a little while. I'll get Ellie off mute. And I'd just love to hear from you, Ellie. What's been one of the most effective ways for you to find new people to talk to?
Just doing things that I love and actually going out of my way to make authentic connections with the people who are also loving the thing that I'm at. So I do a lot of like women's circles and stuff like that. And it's like going out of my way to make authentic connections with those women and finding common ground. So wherever I'm at, like we're at the same event, so we've got some common ground. So it's like, how can I relate to them in more ways? And what's like a common pain that we've had that I can offer a solution to?
Yeah. Nice. Yeah. I love it. So it's A, doing something you love where other people are there. Mm-hmm. And then B, while you're there, being intentional about connecting with people and building a connection on whatever it may be. Yeah. 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 Awesome. Sure. Thanks.
You're welcome.
So what I'd love to hear from people now, put it in the chat box. And this can be like personal development events. It can be sister circles. It can be gym classes. It can be whatever it is, meetups. But what I want to hear from people is linking Instagram and FB Smart for lead sources. I would maybe have them as separate lead sources, or you could have social media as one. Yeah, it's just to give you an idea so you know that you're not, like the question was, is linking Insta and FB Smart for lead sources? And I think, yeah, it's like I have social media as one, and then I'll have sort of workshops as one, and then social events. So like that's how I kind of like to break it up, just so in my head I know I'm not relying too heavily on one. But what I want to hear from you guys is, because again, this 6 weeks is all about action. We can all get on and learn stuff, and that's great. But like, how are we going to actually do something with that information to achieve a different result? So what I want to hear from you guys is what's something that you can start doing. And it might be something you're doing every week. It might be something you're doing every fortnight. It might be an event you're going to commit to find more people to talk to. So I want to hear. So what I'm going to do is I'm going over to Sydney for the Earth S event. So I'm going to get along to at least one meetup in Queensland and one meetup in Sydney when I'm over there. So write it in the chat box. This month, what can you do? And it might be on social media. You might be like, I'm going to join a Facebook group, but I'm actually going to message and connect with 10 people in there and actually start to build a relationship. The cool thing about belly to belly and actually doing stuff in person is only 7% of communication is the words we use. So if we're chatting and typing to people, we're only communicating at like that depth of 7%. Whereas if we meet somebody, give them a hug, they can feel us. It's like there's automatically trust built. So yeah, type in. I'm going to wait till we hear from everybody on this one. After my schoolmates finish exams, I'll hold a get together to present IELTS opportunity. Yeah, awesome. Dun, 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 dun. Nice, Jamie. Chat with my friends and family in the warm market. Yeah, beautiful. Talk to clients I have come in this week. Good. One meetup in Melbourne and one in Bunbury. Good. And again, this doesn't have to be ISA specific stuff. You could just have a meetup about like knitting. Like it doesn't matter. Like it's just literally a way to meet more people. Morgana, I'm going to hold an event after I see David Wood in Brisbane. Yes, I'll see you, David Wood. Morgana, meet up with 2 friends that are interested. Meet people over in Brisbane. Yeah, let's do it, Cal. Medical centres and wellness centres here in the Southwest. Yeah, to clients and friends. Love it. Social media, beach walks with friends, meet up with people in my plastic free group. Awesome. Ben is going to write again from the beginning. Yeah, nice. Benjo, you. Cacao meetups. Yes, love it. Cacao sounds great. Yes. And that's a very intelligent way to start connecting with people. Ben wants to connect with at least one person a day. Join social media groups of shared similar interests. Get chai latte at a different cafe. Yes. And try plays. And that's it. Circulate energy. So it's like if you've been going to the same gym by yourself for 4 years, it's like maybe mix it up. If you've been going to the same cafe, it's like maybe mix it up. And then you can start to build these connections with people. Because do you know what that is? It's efficiency. Because guess how much time you've added to your week in terms of your ISA time? Donuts. Because you're already doing the thing. You're already getting coffee. You're already going to the gym. You're just doing it in a way now where you're meeting new people. Volunteer work. Epic one, Jamie. Cool. Awesome. So, yeah, like the last point I've got is like live an interesting life. It's like the more interesting things you do, the more interesting people you're going to meet. And, oh, hey, I'm in Mum's sewing room currently. So,
hello.
She just walked in before. So the more interesting things you're going to do, the more interesting people you're going to meet. And you want to build this business with, and you want to help people with the product experience with people that you actually get along with. So like David Wood 101, live an extraordinary life, meet extraordinary people. And then a small percentage of those, because let's be real, it's going to be a small percentage that do filter into your Isogenics business, that do where it does line up with at that time. And another thing, and this links into one of the other skills we're going to talk on, is become a better you. But thinking like thinking the long game, like this is all like immediate stuff, like which is awesome because everything that was just shared there, you can implement that and start meeting people in the next week too, and start adding them to your list. But in the long game, if you keep improving your ability to add service to other people's lives and add value to other people's lives, and that might be reading books and passing on knowledge, it might be whatever it is, but it's a huge chunk of the leads that come to me now are through other work that I'm doing because of the work I've done on myself over the last 5 years. So it's like, if we like setting the intention to be able to provide value to people's lives, you become more of a magnet for people to come to you. So that's where things like attraction-based marketing and all of that, or people are going to reach out to you when they need help with something, if you're putting yourself in a position to provide that. So whether you're providing the space with cacao circles or a men's meetup where you just go for a beach swim or whatever it may be, the more you do that and you become a beacon or a space for people to come, then Isogenics is just going to become part of the conversation as things go. So that's the main stuff I had for finding people to talk to. Did anybody want to add anything before we wrap it up? Because I didn't want to overcomplicate it, and it is quite a simple one. Does everybody feel like they've got something there that they can implement now and find more people to talk to? Locke, did you have anything you wanted to add? I know you've been to an ice derby and you've heard from some pretty epic trainers and stuff. Like, is there anything fundamental there that I missed that you'd add in?
No, I think it's all good. And I think, like what you just said, keep it really simple. I reckon that's awesome. The 6 skills is really cool. I think just being on these calls for the last like 2 years or 3 years, like just picking up little things as you go and making it work for you. And the biggest thing that came from me was one call where Laura said that she puts in a Google Calendar who she's spoken to, and she'll have it like, okay, so on Monday I'm going to be talking to these people, and then you send them a text or a message or whatever, and if they don't respond, then I'll put them, a week later, and then you just look at your thing as like, all right, I've got to pick to them. Or if they do respond, they say, listen, actually, we just want to be followed up in a month. So it's like, yep, sweet, put you over to a month. So you just go, I'll turn up tomorrow. It's Tuesday. I've got to speak to Andy, Dean, and Andrew. And so I know those are the 3 people that I've got to speak to. And I remembered that I spoke to Andrew about 2 months ago, and he said, listen, give me a couple of months. So it's been a couple of months. And so I know that I've got to talk to him just then. But
beautiful.
Yeah, just
so that's a
skills.
way you incorporate your list functionally into your calendar. So you've got your Google Calendar and you're doing your 333.
Yeah, I've got a Google Drive that I keep on my thing, but I also have just like notes everywhere. But what I found was my big thing that just keeps me sane and organised is putting it in my Google Calendar, because I look at that all day, every day for my my thing, really. So yeah. So
Yeah, beautiful.
yeah, it was
Cool,
good.
cool,
Yeah.
awesome. Thanks, man. Could we get each to share? Locke to share his story. Oh yeah, wait.
Oh,
Locke, you mind sharing your story or experience with
yeah,
ISO?
yeah, cool. So I started ISO in Feb 2016, I think it was. So a friend, a girlfriend got me involved, and I'm a PT. I heard about ISO before starting about 6 or 7 times over 5 years. So could possibly have heard it before you told, but I just kept. I didn't want to bar it because I just thought, shakes and real placements, and my professional ego kind of got in the way, so I didn't really kind of want to have anything to do with it. Funnily enough, though, I was doing 2 or 3 protein shakes a day from the ASN store, so yeah, go figure. So anyway, I did it because I wanted to shut the girlfriend up, and 2, I knew there was going to be 100% money back guarantee, so I thought, I'll give it a go. I wanted to lose 3 or 4 kilos for the footy season coming up. So I gave it a go, and I did my calf the day before as well. So I didn't do any exercise really through the 30 days. So I thought, this is a good opportunity to see how this goes, and install nutrition and see what within 10 kilos, within 10 days, I lost 6 kilos, and in 20 days I lost 9.5 kilos and 5% body fat. And I was really wrapped with the result. But the biggest thing for me was my gut health and my clarity. Like, that was far beyond anything really. Energy was obviously through the roof and all that too, but yeah, my gut health and clarity was absolutely amazing. So went into maintenance. I thought, okay, I've got a whole list of clients that I could refer to with my PT business, but I thought I just want to go into maintenance really well and just see how it goes after 30 days, because I thought, maybe you could just put it all back on, like what some other weight loss programs do. So yeah, went into maintenance and really, really enjoyed it 3 or 4 months later. And so I thought, I've got a winner here. I just told everybody, like, I put up my my before and afters, and I think we were at Celebration, and we went manager. We signed up 11 in one day, and we had a $3,000 or $4,000 week or something like that. It was mental, absolutely mental. Like, as soon as I put up my before and afters, yeah, I just had 40 or 50 people that were wanting to be followed. It was crazy, really crazy. So yeah, fair to say, I had a really good rocket start, really. So yeah.
Always love hearing that story, especially around like the gut health stuff. Like, that's such a big thing for so many. Cool. All right. Well, we're going to wrap it up there, guys. We're going to stop the record.